So this is Louie, and this particular video is going to be on politics. And what's too bad is that, unlike, for the last few weeks where I haven't really said anything, there have been like a million things going on in just the last couple days. Like, there's a million things going on. And I could do a video on any one of these things. Like last night in Buffalo, some fucking maniac drove a old shitty pickup truck into a crowd of people. And the news media in my area, man, this is the hill they're gonna fucking die on. Like, they are going crazy. It's a media madhouse around here because it is the perfect narrative for them. That no one's sure just yet who this driver is that drove into this crowd. And this is the issue. On the video from a journalist, which I saw earlier today, but I don't have a copy of that. It doesn't matter. They were attacking this vehicle, but it could be the case that this person drove into the crowd intentionally. Okay? So we don't know whether this was an intentional, attack on protesters, or if this was like other times where the protesters surrounded this vehicle because they're in the road already and they start attacking it. The driver panics and just drives forward, which is what any sane person would do. Because when you stop, like it was with that one trucker on that, the off-ramp or whatever it was, like he was getting off of an expressway, they pulled him out of the vehicle and came within an inch of fucking murdering that guy. Like, they beat the shit out of him. They beat him to a pulp. I don't recall in that story if the guy died or not. But that's what happens when you fucking stop and you're driving a tractor trailer. They will pull you out and they will fucking murder you. And on video, we see people attacking the vehicle. But we don't know that that is what initiated this incident. And the media, bro, they are going, they are hyperventilating. Even though you had that instance where some fucking maniac Black Lives Matter advocate drove into a line of police intentionally and severely injured, I want to say, one or two police officers. Purely intentional, did that drove up, saw the police line, drove at them, ran them over on purpose. It was a premeditated attempt at several counts of murder. And you better believe the media in this area, that was a news story for one fucking day. And is the media focusing on the fact of the race of the police officers and the woman behind the wheel? Did anyone bring that shit up? No. It was me and 12 other people who talked about it for one fucking day like the media, and then the next day it was dropped and they're on something different. About how every jogger in the world is a fucking innocent dindu. Okay? That was one day story in this fucking area. 2 days, actually. The day it happened and the day the person was caught. 2 day story max in my area where this happened. But you better believe when it comes to some didn't do fucking Antifa joggers getting run over in the road and we don't know what happened here, it could be intentional or it could be the fact that they were attacking the vehicle and the person behind the wheel panicked. We don't know yet, but holy shit, is it a firestorm right now in my area based on this one stupid story. Because the thing is that I don't see any of these people on their hands and knees saying, kill me first. I will shield the police. I'm such a massive pacifist. Don't hurt the police. Kill me first. If you want to get to the police, you have to get to me first. I didn't see any of that. I saw none of that when those police were getting run over during the summer, okay? So when it comes to these protesters getting run over now, and we don't even know what happened, I don't care. Clear the fucking streets. Get out of the fucking roads. Some dindu half a world away in this country got shot because her gangbanger boyfriend opened fire on police who were raiding that home for drugs and drug money. And Breonna Taylor, her name was on the fucking warrant. So do you think she was just another innocent dindu, had everything running right in her life? No. She was in a drug den with a gangbanger. She was fucking a gangbanger who opened fire on police. So what do you want? What do you want from me? She caught some crossfire, and the person that the police that shot her, they're not even going down for that. They're being charged with, like, reckless endangerment because the bullets they fired went into other apartments. So one officer's getting charged for that. Those are the charges he's facing for that instance. And in all honesty, those charges kind of bullshit because there's a lot of hand-wringing around the amount of rounds that were fired, but by all appearances, the cop that fired wasn't even the most reckless about firing at the guy that was shooting at them. And one of the officers in the shootout was hit. So they're returning fire after an officer is down. To me, it's a stupid situation. And I think that, in all honesty, unless that cop, after everything was said and done, just opened up for no fucking reason, which as far as I know isn't the case, then he shouldn't be facing charges, and they're probably not going to stick. And he's either going to plead out to something that's he's not going to face any time, or he's not going to get convicted. Unless it's some situation, like I said, where he's just shooting randomly. You know, he's like, hey boys, want to see my new zip gun? Boom, boom, boom! Like, just, you know, he's, whatever it is, fanning the hammer on a new revolver, like he's just shooting for no fucking reason. Unless it's that, then this guy isn't guilty of shit. It was a shootout. What the fuck do you want to happen? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen any evidence to say that this guy did anything crazy. He was one of the officers firing at this gangbanger who just downed an officer. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, that's another thing that's going on. But is all of that really important? Are more riots by joggers really that important? Is Antifa throwing some Molotovs in Portland that important? No, because all of this can be done away with in one day, okay? Police roll in, they arrest everybody, and then these people face charges, and they're remanded. They don't get any fucking bail. Because they're violent terrorists. It's as simple as that. It's at the judge's discretion, and I don't understand why in this country judges are handing out fucking, you know, get-out-of-jail-free cards like we're playing Monopoly, okay? It's like a game to them when people's lives are on the line, especially police officers who are getting tagged by Molotovs, you know? I don't understand why we're being so flippant about all of this when what we're dealing with are terrorists. These are two separate but in many ways integrated terrorist organizations on our streets that are intimidating people, are attacking people, who are chanting slogans because, you know, and they are wielding signs and symbols because they're all clearly part of two organizations that are merging together into one. Their actions are the same, their behaviors are the same, and even in this instance, okay, with, I'm going to have to find the footage. I tweeted about this. After this instance, and again, we don't know if this was an intentional hit and run or these people attacked a random driver and he panicked and fled, or he or she, okay? In the case of it being right-wing terrorism, that the driver, it wasn't him being attacked. He was attacked, but that was immaterial to him being there. He drove there with the intention to kill people, okay? Take him out of the car, put him on his knees, put a bullet in his fucking head. I don't care. Fuck anyone committing terrorism. I don't care what happens to that person. If they're on my side, I'm not going to protect them. I'm not their fucking advocate. Kill them. I don't care. I fundamentally don't care about them. Whatever happens to them, they deserve, fine. But here's the difference, okay? And this is what I see all over Twitter. People talking about Trump and all this bullshit. If you have a right-wing terrorist, kill them. It's not just a denunciation like, oh, I don't avow that. No, kill them. I don't care. Fuck them. Criminal lives don't matter. Even if they agree with me on 100% of issues, completely. Fuck them. Kill them. Their lives don't matter. Here's the problem, though. On the opposite side, they're not saying that. Everyone, whether it's a random journo, to professional journos, to politicians, to activists, to commentators, everyone is doing everything in their power to play the role of professional advocate for left-wing terrorists. All of these people. It's like a convergence all together. They are doing everything conceivable to play defense for direct, definitional terrorists. I'm not doing that. Criminal lives don't matter, even if they agree with me entirely, okay? It's that simple for these people to do. But it took an entire summer, 5 months of terrorism for Biden to show up and be like, well, all violence is terrible. Well, and he also went as far as going, well, including white supremacists and blah, 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 like this myth of white supremacists in America doing violence. Meanwhile, you have months and months and months of terrorism. Not just vandalism and so on, terrorism. I don't care if it's you intimidating people or firebombing a place and someone burning alive inside. It's all terrorism. There's no equivocation when it comes to our side as far as I can tell. I haven't seen anyone equivocating on the right. But when it comes to the left, you're all playing the role of professional advocates. So there's no room for you to stand here and say, oh, the violent right, buh, buh, buh. No, not only is the left violent, you are playing the role of deflecting, equivocating, and defending these fucking terrorists. And as far as I can tell, whether it's the layman, the academic, all the way up to Kamala Harris as VP, you're all paying money to keep these people on the fucking streets. I'm not giving a cent of my money to anybody at this point. But if I were, I can tell you that I wouldn't be giving money to terrorist organizations or nonprofits that are bailing terrorists out of prison, or jail, I should say. I'm not giving any of my money for that. So what is your reasoning for why you're doing that? And why, like I said, the average person, celebrities, academics, commentators, all the way up to the VP, a candidate for your party, they're giving money to these organizations. And one of the largest problems on the left are those that simply are stuck. They are stuck intellectually. And I guess in terms of their own personal identity, like they are stuck on the left. And unfortunately, they're so possessed with the idea of being, a leftist in terms of like a leftist identitarian. They're so stuck in that mindset. And they have Trump derangement syndrome. They can't get past that. And they can't really get their hands on the problem. And Sam Harris is the greatest example of that. He is somebody who is in no way a dumb person. But I don't know what it is, whether it's like he's an egotist or he's so tied into the identity of being a leftist. Like I don't really listen to him anymore, so I can't diagnose what his problem is. But it's so clear to me that this guy is stuck in some kind of, the grip of leftism. And I'm going to find you a perfect example of that. So he tweeted this article out by somebody called James Kirchick. And all it is basically saying, like, the left has gone too far. There's a cancer on the left. You could have written this in fucking 2012, okay? Like, it's how old the rhetoric is in this. And he talks about 1992 with Clinton and the problems with the left then. And a lot of this is good. A lot of this is fine. The problem is that, one, the impetus for saying a lot of this is realpolitik. It's realism. It's, if you don't do this, we're going to fucking lose. And I'm sorry, but that's not genuine. What you genuinely feel is, I don't want to lose. Which, to me, is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. That's just cynical politics. For all I know, you're hoping to get a fucking cabinet position. Okay? Like, that isn't genuine. And that, to me, is obvious about this. When half of this is about the idea of you losing an election, then you have to, like, that's part of your problem, okay? That's part of your problem. It shouldn't be about, we're going to lose if you don't do this. It should be about, this is morally wrong. And part of this is that, which is good. Credit to you. Violence and all the rest, saddling up to the identitarian collectivist left and all the rest, racism and all this that you're perpetuating, this is all morally wrong. But also, we're going to lose the election if we don't change this. Sorry, but it's that second part. That second part. I don't know whether you're doing this to convince people who are cynical, but you're talking about realpolitik, which is just cynical. And that to me shows that at least a part of what you're saying here is just for your own sake of Biden needs to win, fuck Trump. And no, fuck you. You deserve to lose. You deserve to lose. Because what you need is a moral reckoning. You don't need a cheap electoral victory with a puppet candidate for Chinese, oligarchs, which is what Joe Biden is. Everything you claimed about Trump is just a puppet for Russian oligarchs. None of that's panned out. All of that has been false. Trump is many things, but he's not a puppet, except for maybe Jared Kushner. But in the case of Joe Biden absolutely is a puppet for fucking Chinese oligarchs. And the middleman between them is his fucking son, his dirtbag son, Hunter Biden. He's the middleman. And this guy he's been wrapped in scandals forever. Because of his fucking dirtbag son. And I guarantee you, not all the money that's going to Hunter Biden is just staying in his pockets. I guarantee you that part of this transaction, of this quid pro quo, is money going into Biden's pockets too. I mean, Joe Biden, okay? It has to be. There's no fucking way that Biden himself, Joe, is lining up all these jobs for his son, and he's not getting shit in return. There's no way. Joe Biden, in my view, it is in many ways like voting for Clinton, where the guy is an absolute scumbag, and there is no defense for him. If you had Kamala Harris up there, I wouldn't vote for her either, but at least, because she's just as insincere, but I don't think that she's as horrifically corrupt as Biden. Biden is just a stand-in for Chinese lobbyists. And everything that we've done in terms of trade, not only would it be reversed from what Trump has done, which has all been good steps, but we would basically become a vassal nation for China under Joe Biden. He is that bad on trade. However, my whole point with this article and Sam Harris, the whole article is the Marxist left is bad, the Marxist left is bad, yada, yada, yada. But here's the problem. Part of this is we the left, what is the remnant of the sane left? We need to stand up to these communists. We need to stand up to the woke left. We need to stand up to the progressives because we're the neoliberal remnant, okay? The problem is, I noticed this while reading this article. I realized, hey, wait a minute. White is lowercase, black is capitalized. That's strange. Isn't that an ideological thing? Isn't that, what I read from the New York Times, isn't that specifically ideological? That, there's, this black identity, and that's why we need to capitalize black? Because black is basically a monolithic concept? That every black person is part of this race that needs to be recognized, so we're going to give it a capital B? It's an unbelievable concept. And this has been pushed from the insane woke left. The same fucking people that this article is decrying. They're the ones pushing the concept that in print you capitalize B for black. Because you need to recognize the fact that if you're black, it's not just that you have this skin pigmentation. You're part of this identity and political group. It's like a political faction that you're a part of. Just based on your skin color. You're automatically in it. So we must capitalize B. And this article does that. So here's the problem. You are unknowingly a slave to the same people that you're trying to decry. The people that you say that you're going to stand up to and that all the rest of you faggots still on the left you're going to stand up to, you're doing their bidding already. Even in the article where you decry them, you're still doing their bidding. You're subverted. You are indoctrinated and you don't even know it. You're so unaware to how deep in the pool you already are that you've sunk. You're gone. You're subverted. You're done. And that is a good portion as to why I just abandoned the left. That I was in the left. I tried to fight for the left. I tried to advocate for the left, to do right, to be better, to actually figure this shit out. But the fact is, I realized after a certain point that there was just nothing left to salvage. There was just nothing left. So the subversion and the infiltration was so thorough, so complete, that I just ejected. I said, forget it. I can't do this. There's simply not enough ground left to fight for. It's been taken. The flags have been planted, and there's just simply nothing left. There's no way by which to take this ground back. So I bailed. I said, fuck it. I pulled my parachute, or the ejector seat, whatever metaphor exactly we're going to use, and I ejected out. I said, fuck it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Because the right is far more palatable for what I want. The right is far more palatable to achieving what I want. And as part of a fucking identity group. Ooh, I need to be part of a fucking group. Ooh. Okay, fine. I can be on the right then. I mean, the only people that the right is not, if you're super pro-abortion and you're otherwise like a shit lib, like I'm a super conservative, but I'm pro-abortion and, I don't know, anti-Christian, a variety of other things, like, those are the people that aren't going to mesh. The internationalists, the neocons, the people that are, like, conservative in name only, like they're otherwise something completely ideologically different. Those are the only people that aren't allowed in, that people dislike. They're still there, and there's plenty in the establishment, but they're hated. And all the fucking neocons have basically exposed themselves, and they're all getting thrown out. Like the Frenches and all the rest of the world, they're all getting tossed out of the right, which is all good. To me, that's great. All the neocons and Bushite people, good. Fuck them. Throw them all out. And everyone wants them gone. Everyone. All the Christian types, all the nationalist types, which you can include me in that camp. Everyone who is very clearly on the right, ideologically, philosophically, what have you. All these people want the shithead neocons gone. And fucking great, you know? That to me is perfectly good. And so to me, I fit well within this faction, this side, this group, if you need one. I fit in fine. But in terms of the left, the flags are planted. The ground has been taken. The fight is fucking over. The neoliberals, they have lost. They are the dead-enders who have no chance at recovering what little ground remains that isn't completely controlled by the what was called the regressive left, the woke left, the identitarian left, the collectivist left, the Marxist left. I could summarize that as, here's a quick summary for brevity's sake. The communist left. They are the left. They control your side. They control it. Whether you like to admit it or not, they're in charge now. They run everything now. And there's nothing you can do to stop them. Because even the best and brightest, the biggest brains out there, don't realize you're already subverted. You've already lost the war. You're basically in your bunker trying to decide what battles you're going to fight. You've already lost the war. It's fucking over with. So your choices are stay and pretend you're fighting even though you've already lost, or B, eject in hope that you can be included on the right, or you're in no man's land. You're just, politically unaffiliated now. You're stuck with that. Those are your choices. That's all you have left. Because I can tell you, I thought that there was a chance we could take it back. There is no chance. The war is over. The sane left has lost, and many of us have just walked away, have just said, fuck it. I walked away. I'd switch my fucking registration. I'm now a right-winger. I'm now an on-paper Republican. So there you go. The left, the Democrats, all of it, had their chance to fix this. They failed to do anything about it. And here we are, years past the point where it mattered, and you think you're going to do anything. When you are subverted. When you are their slaves. Ideologically, philosophically. You are just pets to them, and you don't even realize it. There is a lot going on, and this isn't even the core topic that I wanted to touch on. So I'm just going to stop here because I've gone on long enough. I'm hoping that this is, a good enough video because I'm kind of bouncing around. But the main thrust of this video is that there is nothing left to salvage on the left, and you're all liars, you're all bullshitters, you're all hypocrites, and you don't have any moral standing by which to criticize anybody. You are the immoral actors. You are the ones that put your arms around fucking terrorists and defended them. So fuck all of you. Fuck your side. Fuck your group. Fuck your faction. Fuck Team Blue. You're done. You ceded the moral ground, and you're not getting it back. The immoral actors are in charge. So I'm not listening to one word you have to say about morality, principle, blah, 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 blah. You have no ground to stand on. It's been taken while you were looking the other way, doing fuck knows what else. Anyways, I do have an actual article that I was going to get to about, it's from Politico, Rank and File Union members snub Biden for Trump. That was the main article I was going to get to. I'm not going to get to it in this video. It's going to have to be another video, all right? So, we'll see if that happens. Thank you for listening.